When I wrote my college application, I wrote about seeking failure and enjoying the lessons from failure. I wrote that from a mentality that I had that I could learn things when I fail. And I know I'm closer to winning when I fail because with every failure, you learn something that brings you closer to the end goal. I showed the essay to my parents and they told me to just take it down. They said to completely rewrite it. And I was like, like that's me though. Like that's my mentality. Like when I fail, I know that I'm learning something and that I'm making progress, that I'm taking action. And that failure is part of the journey. No matter how you go about it, you're going to fail. You're going to fail if you don't try to achieve your dreams because you failed to achieve your dreams right then and there. But you're also going to fail if you try to achieve your dreams. You're not going to just right off the bat just succeed and just achieve all of your dreams without any turbulence. So why not embrace failure? Why not embrace it? Not actively seek out failure. Try your best, but when you do fail, analyze what happened and learn from it. We're not my philosophy isn't about just seeking failure and like trying to mess up. You try to execute everything as flawlessly as you can, but when you do fail, embrace it and learn from it. And right then and there, I realized maybe college isn't my thing. But, I rewrote my essay, I went to college, and, I started going to these parties, and I would be like, so what's your major? This whole spiel where you talk to someone, you're like, yo, what's your major? And they're like, oh, I'm doing this and this. It's like, oh, cool. What do you want as a career? Like after you get out of college, they're like, I don't really know. And like everybody would say that. You would ask everybody, what's your major? They'd maybe be declared, maybe they'd be undeclared. And then you'd say, oh, what do you think you'll do with that major? And they're like, I don't really know. I'm just kind of here. Like, oh, you're just kind of here. Great. So you're just paying like $10,000 to $30,000 in tuition, and you don't even know why. You're just doing that. Okay, cool. And that's when I was like, you know what? I didn't feel like this was for me when I first enrolled, and I don't feel like it's for me now. I don't really have to see how this ends. Previously I had worked at restaurants with people that had college degrees, and they were just working at the restaurant anyways. They weren't using their degree like, huh, um, yeah, this is not for me. So, yeah, then I withdrew from college. Even like elders would be like, "Oh, you're not going back to college." And I was like, "No, I don't really think so. I don't really think it's for me. I'm gonna try some different businesses and such." And for elders to be like skeptical and worried, that made me worried because always in my life I would take elders' wisdom and I would just like take that to heart because I know an old person has seen a lot and they have a lot of wisdom. So like anytime an older person would be like, "Oh, like you're not going back to college," I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, am I making a mistake here?" But then I learned another philosophy that you should only take advice from people who are where you want to be. If somebody's 80 years old and if they worked some job that you don't want to do and they didn't live the life that you're trying to live, how would they know how to get where you're trying to go if they've never been where you're trying to go? That's a pretty simple philosophy. You think if somebody's older, they just know a lot, so you should probably just take it to heart. But really, they might not have been on the path that you are on and the path that you are trying to take. So they don't really know what way to go in order to hit your goals. Who you should be listening to is people who have been on your path and are where you want to go. And when somebody who's where you don't want to be is telling you it's not going to work out, they could be right. So what they say doesn't matter, and they could be right. But if somebody's where you want to be in life and they know certain things about that path, certain bumps in the path, certain obstacles that are in that path, and it seems that you are kind of heading towards one of those obstacles, that's when you listen. That's when you take advice, because that person has been through what you're trying to do. So they know that speed bump's coming up, and they know, hey, look out for this. So that's who you listen to. That's who's gonna know things. And everybody's path is different, so people on different paths are gonna pull you in different directions. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's a loser here. I'm saying that people all have different ideas in their head of what they want out of their life, and everybody's going to be going in different directions and different paths. So if you're with friends that don't really align with your path, they're going to be kind of pulling you on their path, whatever that path may be. Maybe it's just a solid career. Maybe it's just, like becoming a doctor. It's not to say like you have to completely burn a bridge with a friend, but the amount of exposure that you spend with the top 3 people in your life is going to really dictate who you are. If you're spending time with 3 potheads, you're going to be the 4th pothead. If you're spending time with 3 ski bums, you're going to be the 4th ski bum. 3 surfers, you're going to be the 4th surfer. 3 millionaires, you might just be the 4th millionaire. So, if you hang out with 3 fit people, if you're a roommate with 3 fit people and all they bring is just healthy stuff into the house, you might just be the 4th fit person. Even if you're a fat ass, when you start like rooming with them, over time they might just bring enough healthy food in and educate you just enough on how to take care of yourself that you'll become the 4th fit person. The millionaires that you're hanging out with, they might just educate you enough on how to make money that you might be the 4th millionaire someday. It's the velocity that these people are on their paths that is going to pull you in that direction, I will say this, things in life don't just happen by chance. You don't just become an actor just by chance. Oh, oops, I'm an actor. You don't just get jacked by chance. You're not just like, oops, oh shoot, I picked up a dumbbell one time and oh shoot, now I'm too bulky. I'm too jacked. I've been working out for 8 years. I've never felt too bulky or too jacked. You don't just like accidentally start this multi-million-dollar business. You're like, oh, oops. How did that happen? How did $1 million get in my bank account? How did that happen? You have to go chase your dreams. They're not going to chase you. So, go. I think we're hitting chest today. We're going to go hit that. And yeah, just pay attention to your velocity. Don't worry about where you are right now. Worry about where you're heading.
And the more things I found comfortable, the more uncomfortable my mind was. You start putting yourself in situations that suck, you'll find it real quick. I gotta fucking wake up tomorrow and do the same shit again. I gotta leave this fucking interview and go stretch out for 2.5 hours. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built.